It's been over 2 months since the offence of Noah and Rick Grams tried some chocolate milk. Welcome back to Fall Get Entertainment. We've also got Jesus. Don't know what analogy I'd use to describe what he likes, but I'm not going to go there because it's the next world.
It is the next world. We get introduced to a new character in Jesus, and I'm sure shortly he will introduce us to even more characters and even more communities. But I mean, this episode, it felt like it had a comedic element to it, but not really that funny.
Yeah, I think it's by the time season 6 came. I mean, I think Rick's still got some comedy in him, but I think the comedy of the show's at the windy, man. When Abraham is the guy that everyone turns to for a bit of lightheartedness, I think you're snookered. Daryl has been depressed for seasons. Rick, when was the last season Rick was like truly funny? Honestly, man, I think you're looking at like season 1. I think even in season 2.
Hold on, when was Rick ever funny?
Yeah, but I think in season 1 he could have a bit of back and forth banter. No, well, to be fair, in season 2 when he's out in the forest the odd time with Shane, they were cracking some wee jokes like. But Rick needs someone to be funny with. He can't be funny by himself.
See, you think about it, how often do we get Rick and Abraham scenes where it's just those two?
The world's gonna need Rick Grimes because I'm a boring best.
No, but see, you think about it, it's actually very rare. See when you look at The Walking Dead, right? See when you look at the main characters, you got like a core. It's like almost like the core group are with each other, like. Yes, you think of Shane and Rick, and they had a lot of time together on their own. A lot of the characters don't have that.
No.
You look at like Rick Grimes. I mean, like it's not like Rick and Abraham. I mean, very rarely ever.
I believe Carl and Glenn have never had a scene one-on-one with each other. And considering
I could believe that because I honestly legit cannot think of one moment.
Yeah, and considering they have been in a show, I mean, spoiler, up to 7 seasons together. That's incredible, man.
Yeah, is that bad writing, or is it just no need for them to really?
Well, speaking of bad writing, I want to just address this for the get-go because I don't want to talk about it much more. Diana, last episode, got caught in her house shooting at walkers with about 6 rounds left. This episode, which is 2 months after the offence no out, by the way, is somehow outside the walls. How does that make any sense?
Diana made the great escape, I guess, you know.
No, you were led to believe with episode 9 is that she didn't take the easy way out. She decided to start shooting the walkers and fight to the end and died heroically. But turns out she didn't even die because she died for the bite rather than getting ate. Completely unrealistic.
Must have shortcut of walkers and just locked herself in the room. But if she locked herself in the room, then
how'd she get out?
Did she turn? And she didn't look like she was like bitten or torn apart. So did she turn while shooting and then just walk past the wall? I mean,
yeah, but so she turned, got out a locked door, and then walked outside the gates despite the fact there was all that noise in Alexandria. That was just so forced this episode to give Michonne and Spencer something to do. They put her down. That's all I'm talking about. That is just a flaw in the writing there.
Yeah, and again, Michonne saying she cares about Spencer. I guess this is them trying to show that they're respecting Diana by trying to, carry out her dying wish of looking after her son.
So it's more that it's more they're just like, Diana said that, I guess, we got her killed kind of thing. I'll just say this fucking bullshit line.
See, in 3 episodes' time, you wouldn't be surprised if Rick just turned around and killed Spencer. He can say he's going to look out for him all he wants, but at the end of the day, Spencer's not a part of Rick's
Yeah, but I think it's like a Soprano thing. Like, Tony would turn around and say, like, here, your old man said that, asked for me to, look out for you, sort of thing. Tony wouldn't fucking go to somebody like, here, I care a lot about you. Like, pretend. Like, why doesn't Michonne just be honest and say, like, here, your mum asked me and Rick to look after you after she passed, and that's exactly what we're going to do. Why fucking bullshit to Spencer? It's your first on-screen fucking scene with him, and you're pretending that you care for the guy.
Yeah, anyway, it looks like Rick and Daryl are going to look out for the group because they set out on a little journey. They're low on food, low on supplies, so they're going to try and find some. Denise has gave Daryl a list. There was, again, I think they were trying to go for like awkward comedy here where Denise was trying to ask Daryl to get something that Tara liked, but Denise was trying to say that it's not important, but it's kind of important to her. It's not a necessity that the group need, but she'd really like if Daryl could get this. And it was just like an awkward 2-3 minute scene that I just don't think was necessary.
And she was also explaining like how you get these things. Like, yeah, Daryl's the tracker. Daryl goes out all the time. You're a fat bastard that's too afraid to leave your house.
Yeah, look, I mean, Daryl for me is a terrible character at this point, and Reese has never been a good character, never will be a good character. So, yeah, let's just cut back on the Daryl and Denise stuff. Can we please? Eugene then lets Rick and Daryl out the gates. Now, he opens the gates and then proceeds to talk to them for 2 minutes. It's not. You think they're trying to keep this place secure? Surely you would talk to them for 2 minutes, then open the gates and let them out. But
yeah, that just doesn't make any sense.
Could have been walkers out here. Could have been someone.
Especially considering who it is. If it's Abraham who can handle himself, all right, a wee bit reckless, but here makes sense because if a walker turns up, he'll kill it. Eugene's a fucking coward there, man.
Yeah, or could have been someone waiting in the woods trying to snipe. But anyway, who cares? So they go out on their mission to find some food. Just to follow up on the whole Spencer thing with Michonne. So Spencer's out there looking for his mother. Enid and Carl are also out there. Carl comes across Deanna, but we don't see her. And Carl doesn't kill her. And Enid's like pissed. Why didn't you kill that? And he's like, it's not my place. It's not my decision. Blah, blah, blah. And at this point, we didn't even see Deanna, but I just assumed it was her. Because I just thought, why is Spencer out in the woods? And why is Carl not killing this? So I put 2 and 2 together. You, on the other hand, didn't think it was her. And it turned out it was her.
Yeah, but I didn't think it was her because I was like, there's no fucking way she got from that room out there. I didn't remember this scene.
I didn't remember either, but why would Carl not be killing this person?
I don't know, maybe he's turned a new leaf.
Anyway, Enid leaves, Carl leaves, and then Carl finds Michonne, and I mean, they put down Deanna and they bury her, and that's pretty much that. Anything else you want to add?
No, I think we should just focus on Rick and Daryl for the remainder of this episode with a bit of Jesus.
Right, Rick and Daryl, they go, they're looking for stuff. They find like a vending machine. There's some empty soda cans in it. Daryl busts open the soda cans in the weirdest way possible, and they chain their vehicle to the truck, the vending machine to try and bring it back, I guess, to open it up or whatever. And then we meet Jesus, who bumps into Rick. Rick and Daryl pull guns on him. Jesus is like, hey, I'm friendly. He gets their names, and they ask him, what's your name? And he goes, my name's Paul Monroe, but people call me Jesus.
Paul Revere.
It's Paul Monroe, isn't it?
Paul Revere.
It is Paul Monroe.
Is it Paul Monroe?
The guy's called Paul Monroe. I know for a fact.
So the almighty Walking Dead fandom page has got it right. You're right, it is Paul Monroe. So why are they going with Paul Revere?
Maybe it was different in the comics, or it's different. I don't care. It's either the show or the comics. Either Paul
way,
Monroe.
we're not going to call him Paul Monroe.
We're just going to call him Jesus.
Jesus.
So he says, "Look, you've got about 7 minutes." He's very, it's very specific there. 7. No, but no, I don't get right. Is this not dumb from fucking Rick? Jesus turned around and says, "You've got about 7. It might be an 11, but it was at least 7." He said, "You've got about 7 minutes until they're on you." If that's the case, why is Jesus running like they're on his tail?
Yeah.
Then he hears a noise behind like the not the barn, but it's like a store, I guess. So
Rick, 7 minutes up.
7 and yeah. So Rick and Darryl go behind to check what it is, and there's nothing there. And then Rick they hear like an engine, and Rick realizes that he's been pickpocketed by Jesus. And they run round to try and get Jesus, but Jesus is already in the truck and he's taken off. So Rick and Daryl here have been absolutely done in by a man that's like 5'5" and looks like Jesus. So yeah, not good, but they do somehow catch up to him. Now they ran in the direction of the truck. How were they supposed to know this truck was going to break down? Like, see on foot and some guy speeding away in a truck, would you not just give up and try and find something else?
No, this is fucking ridiculous.
But Rick and Daryl legit run up the road chasing the truck, and then like hours later, I guess they come across Jesus, who's pulled over at the side of the road. He got a puncture and he's fixing the tire. They get into a bit of a brawl and they tie him up, and they say, "Oh, you're lucky we're not killing you." Daryl leaves him like 1 milliliter of soda left over from a mostly drunk can, and they get in the truck and they drive off. And they're like, right, we left them behind. Rick says the ropes aren't tied that hard, so you should be able to escape. And Jesus did escape, and somehow he made it on top of the truck. Honestly, don't know how that's possible. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
And why are they not looking in the mirror to see if he's still there?
Unless this guy can legitimately fly and catch up, or like run at the speed of lightning. This just didn't make sense. It feels a bit phony.
It does.
It's like Jeepers Creepers when he lands on top of the truck.
It just feels very comic booky. Like, well, this guy just spawned
Superpowers or something,
yeah.
and he flew and landed on top of the. So Rick slams the brakes. Jesus comes flying off the trucks. Daryl gives chase. Rick gives chase. We've got Rick and Daryl running around this field, and I mean they're trying to catch him. They eventually do catch him. Rick gets in a brawl, a scuffle with Jesus, I guess. And the truck was put in reverse. And the door was open, so the door like cracks Jesus in the head. And the truck goes into like this big swamp river and just like sinks to the bottom. And the goods are gone. So they were both fighting over the truck, and in the end, no one's going to get the truck. So all of this just for them to fucking all end up empty-handed.
But see, I think this is all forced though, because say he didn't get knocked out. Look what Rick has killed people in the past for. Like the cop running away in Atlanta, right? Say this wasn't Jesus and this was some randomer. I think he'd have been shot a long time ago.
Yeah, because I think Rick's going to look at it as, those supplies, you've killed our group because those supplies, they were necessary, they were needed. So Rick says, look, we can't just leave him here. And Rick wants to tie him up a tree or something like that. So, yeah, I mean, whatever.
Yeah, they bring him back to Alexandria. He's in the infirmary. Rick then's like, I'm sure I couldn't get your toothpaste. Here's some mints. And as he gives her the mints, their fingers interlock and then they start kissing. So then, Rick and Michonne, it's Rishon. So yeah, it didn't take Rick long to forget about Jesse, didn't it not?
No, it didn't. Jesse's gone. Michonne is in.
Is it not mad though how they've did more for Rick and Michonne in an episode than they did for Jesse and Rick in pretty much a season?
Yeah, is what it is. Another mixed race relationship for The Walking Dead. If you're into that stuff, if you love that stuff being pushed down your throat, then good for you. But yeah, to me, Rick and Michonne, they have been together now, and I don't mean romantically, but I mean in the same group. They've been together for
years.
I mean, let's say in terms of seasons, we're talking, let's say at least three full seasons.
Yeah.
All right, you got full season 4, full season 5, and then like half of 3 and half of 6 or whatever. Right? Okay. They have never, ever, in my opinion, showed any sort of romantic chemistry.
No.
Ever. This just seemed extremely forced. Like, it would have been a bit more sense if you'd seen signs of this coming. But you'd never seen any signs of it coming. And now, all of a sudden, Rick and Michonne are together. Is what it is. That's how we end the episode.
As Jesus says, we should talk. As
Yeah.
they're lying in bed. There'll be a funny line next episode. I was talking to your mom and dad. Forgot Carl looked black. He looks pretty. Maybe his eye looks black because he just get fucking shot out like. But I mean,
Maybe he thought Carl was RJ or something.
He looks like a white cracker to me.
Anyway, yeah, just that. Like, so I'm not gonna lie and say that some of the Jesus, Rick, and Daryl stuff wasn't a little bit funny. I mean, it was entertaining, but it did come across as goofy as well, in my opinion.
Yeah, so, but I think the whole episode is like so much filler. Like, there's just nothing. See, by this point, The Walking Dead has mastered filler, and not in a way like, oh, it's so good. In a way where, like, it's not a one-off now. It's like every other episode. You'll get like 4 episodes a season of stuff happens, but see the other 12 filler.
Yeah, it's almost like every episode they've got like a group of filler episodes to build up for an episode where something's going to happen. Whereas, like, I don't know, I don't think The Walking Dead really did that. And I know people will argue, well, season 2, and yes, I would say there was like maybe a group of maybe 3 episodes, 2 episodes in the first half of season 2 that was maybe considered filler. But overall, on the whole, if you look at from The Walking Dead from seasons 1 through to 3, there wasn't many episodes I would consider filler at all.
No.
Yeah, I mean, most episodes you were getting something important happening. That doesn't seem to be the case. Like, I think Jesus is probably going to be one of the better characters. Whether that tells you the decline of The Walking Dead and where we're at right now, I'll give it a 5 out of 10.
Yeah, I'll cut it straight down the middle. I'll give it a 5 out of 10 for the next world. We'll be introduced to the hilltop shortly. And yeah, I mean, I think it just sums up though. Like, Jesus probably is one of the better characters of the second half of this show. Bizarre. Absolutely bizarre. Up next though, episode 11. Till then, peace.